It's the night before. This is just my Christmas to every deer hunter. That special time he takes off work when he just knows he's going to catch the rut starting, the chasing phase, looking for the big one, Mr. Big, Freak Nasty. He's out there waiting for me. I got a message for him. I'm coming. I'm coming. Got blood. Looks like we got a good hit on her. It's really, really dark. And we got blood on the leaves. And that arrow is just absolutely soaked. And that looks like good dark, good blood too, so. We're gonna track this. We're gonna track this, Doe.
You got blood, blood splattered all the way up in there.
Jeff Webb here, Forgot Blood Outdoors. 2011 was a pretty good deer season for all of us. I think it's 4 or 5 guys, we really killed some good deer this year. I've got Brandon Fox here with me. Brandon scored the first nice buck of the year, and I'm unhappy to say that I was coming out of the dark woods that night without a deer when he texted us and had to show that off. All said and done, we've got to give the biggest buck award.
Absolutely.
To Walt Mitchell. As you can see here, this big 205-point monster.
It's amazing.
It's just a big deer. I've never had the pleasure of killing one like that, but I got to say that, well done. I mean,
yeah, you can't say much more than that.
You don't get a bow shot on that one very often on something
this
that's
is unreal.
No doubt. So he takes the #1 prize. There were a lot of other good bucks that were shot this year too, and that's what this video is going to be about. We're going to show some of them, talk to a couple of the guys. Brandon, you shot the first one. I remember that text just as plain as day. It was dark in a truck, and here you sent the picture across on your cell phone to Sean Bentley, and he's like, look at this. And I thought, man, he's putting the pressure on. Putting the pressure on right off the bat. Now, we've got a picture of your deer right here. We're going to pop him up here. Tell us something about that deer. Exactly how big was he? Was he a 10 or 12?
He was 10 point.
10 point, and he was typical?
He was typical.
Okay. When did you shot him? It was the first week of bow season?
It's 11-11-11. I'll never forget
11-11-11.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. I was in the woods. We got in a pickup truck and driving out. Got the text, and it was a crushing blow because then I knew you'd already turned up the heat. But tell me what was going through your mind from the first moment you saw that deer, and you knew that it's going to happen. You were going to shoot him. What was going through your mind when you saw him?
Well, actually, earlier that evening, it was an evening hunt. I set up in a bottle point, where I knew he was probably coming through, and I was there for about an hour and a half. And unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, there was another hunter came up. I also had permission for that land, probably 60 yards from me. Bad wind blowing right on me. I was just, and me being, having a climber, I knew I had to move. Just
Right.
Bad wind. I had to get out of there.
Yeah.
So I went to a field edge, and along there I had a decoy. I sprayed it down, said that was a doe.
Now, when you say you sprayed it down, were you spraying it down with something to remove scent, or were you spraying scent on?
Scent elimination, definitely,
Okay.
to get that human scent off of it.
You don't believe in spraying scent on your decoy? do you?
No, especially since I leave it out there. They'll be doing all kinds of stuff to it. So after I set it up upwind, I was sitting there for a while, and some coyotes came out. And being that my dad shoots right and I shoot left, I kind of had to turn because, we said stand up typically for him.
Right.
So I turned, I was trying to, maybe bag a coyote for that night, might as well. And about that time, he squatted and did his business, and I'm like, oh great, now I got coyote scent all over him, so I was a little worried about that. So I'd say about half hour after that went past, and I heard the leaves, and I thought, well, that might be a squirrel. We got louder and louder. And eventually I heard a twig break, and I was like, that's not a squirrel. So I let some time come by, and eventually I seen him. And here he comes, head down. He locked onto that decoy. And what they do, when you set a decoy like that, they wind it. They always go down, and it's almost like a movie script when he does that. The problem is when he did that, he was going to wind me. He started making a wider circle than what I was anticipating. So I turned, I grabbed my grunt just in case. He didn't. He came in about 28 yards from it, gave me a great shot. I popped him, 80 yards and dropped. So it's a done deal.
Well, I'm telling you what, just from looking at the pictures that we've got here, I can tell you were a happy camper
Oh,
when you
yeah,
got him in and out of there. You were coming off of a dry season the year before. You didn't hit that big buck, did you?
I was.
I remember you were a little bummed about that.
I was, but I'll tell you what, the greatest experience about this is I got, it's my dad's property.
Right.
And I got to call him and we celebrated, much like Mitchell said, we did the man dance
the man
out
dance
there,
out there.
yeah. And that was a good experience. So.
Well, good. I'm glad that we've got good hunters around us.
Me too.
I think that everybody did real good this year. Everybody seems to have had a success story, except Gainey. He had a dry year.
Where's that
Gainey? But that Gainey, hey, I'll tell you what, that guy will get out there and hunt. It'll be 40 mile an hour. He'll be hanging out there hunting. So I got to give him his props.
Yeah.
I think Seth Woods shot a nice deer
Seth
for a
Woods,
first
yes,
buck.
absolutely.
That 12-point buck. We're hoping to get him and the deer in here in a little while and get to interview him. John Miller shot a nice deer. The thing I can say about Jethro is that he's consistent.
He is consistent.
I mean, that guy will put a buck down just about every year I've known him. He shot one. We kind of got the time messed up, and he was out here earlier before we even shot him, hoping to get him back. But looking for next season already. It's already started for me.
Me
Not for
too.
you.
Yeah, I'm shooting at everything.
I can't wait for it to get here. Matter of fact, I think Seth just come into the studio now, and we're going to get with him. But I want to thank you for coming over and letting us get you on video.
Yeah.
I'm hoping to get to hunt with you this year.
Yeah, me too.
If you get any time saved up, will you take 4 or 5 days off?
I will. We'll make this
Come
happen.
to Southern Ohio
We'll
with
make
me,
it happen.
and let's kill that big one that
Sounds
Sean
good.
Bentley let
Oh,
walk out from
I
under.
know, it's killing him.
Oh, Sean didn't show up today, and I think he knew that we were going to bring that subject back up. But we'll be cutting videos. You guys watch us. I got some more guys on here, and let's roll to that next deer hunter. It's kind of awkward, because we've been doing videos of people kill deer.
Yeah, there's no deer in front of us now.
You didn't kill a big buck this year, did you?
No, sure
Killed
didn't.
a little buck, but sort of
Yeah.
didn't work.
Yeah.
Kind of awkward, not kind of correct. I really don't know what to ask you, except you're going to try to kill one this year.
I'm hoping to.
Do you know why you didn't kill one? Was this
It was a lot of mishaps this year. A lot of mishaps.
high wind? Just
High wind, bad weather.
yeah, I know.
Equipment problems.
We were out in that.
Yeah.
We got hail on.
Where'd you get that big antler at, Jeff?
I found that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and we were out in the woods, and my uncle's got this little
Where'd you
dog.
really get it at, then?
In the woods.
Oh, okay.
My uncle's got this really dog. He's got this little dog named Tiger.
Mhm.
He's a squirrel. He's a
Oh,
killer.
Yeah.
And we were out in the woods, and I found this.
Who gave that to you? Somebody give it to you? I know you didn't really find it.
No, really. We've got her. How far do you think she comes, Sean?
Oh, hell.
100 yards. Now we've got Seth Woods in here. He was one of the newcomers to the game this year, but I gotta say, man, it turned out real good for Seth. He hit like the grand slam. Seth, was this the first year you started hunting deer, or have you hunted them before?
This is the first year I really hunted.
Really? Now, had you bow hunted before? Was
No,
the
I
first time
haven't.
pick it up? And but you got this deer during gun season, right? Okay. Man, this is your first buck ever, and you killed a 12-point buck.
Yeah.
Man, that's going to be a hard act to follow next year, isn't it? Because
Oh yeah.
deer hunters, we kind of like to try to kill a bigger buck every year, and I know I put the bar pretty high for myself this year when I killed my deer. It looks like you're starting out with a rough hurdle for next year,
Yeah.
but I bet you was tickled when this one hit the ground, wasn't you?
Oh, big time.
Now, tell me about what happened when you first saw this deer. What was going through your mind when you knew that it was going to happen? You was going to take the shot at him. What was you thinking when you pulled that gun up to your shoulder there? Was you confident that you were going to make that shot, or were you, well,
I was nervous
you were nervous, huh?
because like a week or two before, I took a crossbow out and shot one and tracked it forever.
Didn't get it.
Didn't get it.
Now, was that a buck you shot at?
Yeah.
Now, I know there were several good-sized bucks running around out there.
Oh,
You're the only one that
still
scored.
alive.
You're the, oh, shh, don't tell everybody that. Don't tell everybody there's still bucks out there. But you're the only one that scored a nice buck out there. This is the nicest buck killed off of that prison property, well, ever since I remember, because we haven't been allowed to hunt them on the prison property until just a few years ago. This is the first nice buck taken off that prison property since hunting has been allowed.
Yeah.
So we'll leave it at that. So you've got a nice mount. Did you get you some more meat laid in? Did you just kill the one buck, or did you kill you a doe this year?
No, this was it.
So you're gonna be back at them again this year
Oh yeah.
in 2012. This is your 2011 kill. And I gotta say, I think it's a dandy. You made the top 5 there, man. You scored. And we're glad to get you on here. I want to thank you for coming in for the interview, bringing me your deer. Got a good shot of that. Good job. And next year, see if you can top that one.
It's gonna be tough.
All right. We'll catch you later.
There's the shot. It was almost dark. I really had trouble seeing her, but she was turned away. And if you look up the hillside there, Sean, that blood. I don't know if the camera will even show it, but right there she slid back down the hill. She tried to go up it and crashed. And now we got to drag her around the side of this hill.
Jason, are you texting?
No. You keep asking him.
You got a phone here?
Go ahead, start. All right, go ahead.
Had to do a little burning this morning. Well, I'll tell you what, them chestnut burrs are just sharp as needles I got around my tree. I don't like them very much. I see some deer hair around my fire pit. Imagine that. I wonder where that comes from. We were telling you earlier, John Miller was real consistent in these deer kills, and we affectionately know him as Jethro out at the joint. But I'm telling you, he's just another walking reason that we can tell you beyond a shadow of a doubt, you can't count the old dogs out of the game here, because the man kills a buck every year. And I want you to know, Jethro, that all of us out there at the joint, we recognize you as a deer hunter. All the deer hunters do. But I want you to take a look at his buck he's got here on the ground. You notice that buck's got good mass. He's a 10-point. He's got everything you want. And you know, Jethro lines up on them deer like that all the time. Got another picture here where he's on the ground. He's symmetrical. He's a nice typical deer. This is the kind of deer that Jethro's known to target. Now I'll tell you what, he's a good deer hunter, and we wanted to get his photographs in here. We kind of got twisted around and didn't get him a sit down with him so we could talk to him. But next year I want you to make sure you get in here on this Jethro. I'm telling you what, folks, if a big buck steps out in front of John Miller, he ain't long for the world, because he ain't got nary a problem with slinging a hammer at it. And that's a fact, Jack. Take that to the bank. Had a lot of guys show up today.
Yeah, it was a good turnout, man. It was.
Mitchell brought that big deer, and it's got that big deer
Seth's a
Seth's.
really nice one too.
Seth's there, but
Yeah.
maybe, I mean, even Fox had a dry year last year.
Yeah.
He didn't kill him.
Hoping to be a little better next year.
Still pretty buck this year.
Yeah. That's a nice antler. Where'd you get that at, though?
I thought I told you. Well, actually, I was out in the woods, and my uncle's dog, Tiger. Tiger found it and come carrying it to me. He's a smart little bastard.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't let me have it.
Oh.
I won't tell you how I got there.
I mean, how'd you really get it
Now, Dennis Thomas is another fellow I work with out at the prison. Dennis is a successful deer hunter. He kills a buck about every year. And normally Dennis is out doing his homework, and he's trying to find this buck before the season comes in. He didn't find his buck here this year, but he did shoot another buck, and he calls it the deer elope. He sent me a picture here we're going to show you now. Dennis knows that sometimes you just have to call one or two, So I think since he didn't find the buck he wanted, he went ahead and he took this deer, and it's a funny looking deer. So we're going to put it on here, but as far as deer hunters go, Dennis Thomas is another one of the deer hunters out there at the joint, and he's going to get his deer. You can count on that one too. Now I can't forget Sean Bentley. Hunted with him a little bit last year. Fun guy to hunt with. Knowledgeable. Heck of an archer. We both made kills, but Sean learned a little lesson about waiting.
He shot a nice buck, and then when he come down to hunt with me, he had to let a great big one go by. And it's hard to tell how many points this deer had. It was real early in the morning. But we're going to show you a picture of the one he shot, a picture of one he had to let walk. And I just bet you Sean's going to be looking to find that deer again this year, because I don't think anybody killed that deer. Sean, what do you think? You ready to go back for another pop? I'll see you there. Now the whole time bow season started, and we're out, the guys from the joint hunt, you've got to know that the boys down in McConnellsville, where I like to hunt, are out taking care of business. They're spyglassing these deer, and some of them, know where they're at anyway, hanging up stands, and they're staking out the joint. And I'm going to show you a couple clips here. Called Maxwell, one of the owners down at Maxwell Sports Shop. And if you know anything about McConnellsville, you know about Maxwell's. It's a happening place to be, especially during deer season. Claude just absolutely killed a nice deer. I mean, it's a monster. Had some drop times on it, and I'll tell you what, I was jealous the moment I saw it. But these are the kind of deer these guys target. They're good deer hunters. Claude, hold her up there, buddy. Man, that's a freaking nice one. 2 drop tines. How many points you count on that?
I was about 10, 11.
Daggone. How big around is that? About 4.5, 5 inches? It might be a little bit bigger than that. I don't know. That's a nice one, though. Got a big wide rack on him, doesn't he?
I don't know how
Lord,
wide
look
yet.
the
I didn't
mass
even
on
measure
that
it.
thing, man.
That picture you took on the tailgate looked wide. Looked good. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It's a nice one. Maxwell's where it's always going on, baby. They got guns, they got bows, they got it all here. From out of town, got to come to Maxwell. Next up, we have Kurt Coleman, one of the Coleman boys for Coleman Calls. I do a lot of hunting with these guys, mostly during gun season, but Kurt's got a nice one in the back of the truck here. I'll tell you what, these Coleman boys kill so many good deer. He's going to probably European mount this one you're seeing in the truck. Give me a quick count there. Tell me what you think. I see 1, 2, 3. What you got?
He probably only go to 130s just because he's got these short, because these are going to go against each other.
Yeah. What about points?
He's, I call him mainframe 8, then he's got 1, 2, 3, 4 points. I wouldn't count that one. This one, those are too small, but
A little bit of junk on
that'd be
there.
12. And this one's too small, but he's trying to be more. I'd say.
He's nice and thick, though, isn't he?
Yeah, see how big his rosettes are? That's weird. He's an old deer.
Wow, check that out.
You think?
Those are big, man.
Yeah, if he'd have rosettes, he should have horns that big.
Right.
He's goofy, and he got that big knot. I don't know what's going on.
You think maybe he was hurt
Something.
last year or something?
He might have, like.
Get a side
skull
shot
got
of him
cracked
here.
back.
Show a little bit different parts of him. All right, that'll
like it.
work, man. Kurt Coleman of Coleman Calls, baby. At Maxwell's. And Mitch, his brother. And now we fall back on some of the deer we shot during gun season. I got a buck hanging in there. We're going to show you that and show you the one that Mike Coleman, the Coleman boy's dad, shot. That was a nice buck. That was council approved, incidentally. And then you've always got to watch out for Uncle Cash, Danny Gage, and last but not least, let's not forget Tom McCoy, a deadly pistolero. Shoots in a lot of these cowboy shoots, and let me tell you, I've personally seen him pop one in the head at about 32 yards with a 44 Magnum there. I don't want him shooting at me. These are the kind of guys I'm fortunate enough to hunt with during deer gun season. And I just want to bring them to light and recognize them. I think the world of all of them. I don't want to hunt with anybody else when I'm around them guys. They're a hoot to hunt with, they're knowledgeable, and most of all, they're safe. So let's get to these clips and show you a couple of these fellas. Opening day of gun season. It's been raining like hell.
was a crappy day, but pushed through it. Got a nice buck killed here, biggest one I've ever killed. Really made the day come together. Found my piece for the camera, that helped. And now I'm going to cape this thing out and get him cut up and quartered and put in the freezer. It's not going to get cold enough tonight to let him hang. So I'll give you a little bit of video here to look at it. Unfortunately, it's raining so hard I didn't have my camera, so I didn't get a kill on it. It was one of them things where he popped up, I killed him, there it was. So I'll let you have a look at him now. He's got a nice rack to him. A lot of mass to this joker. A lot of mass. You can see how big, how thick he is. Big neck on him. He's a big deer. Bigger angle. I'll get some better pictures after I cape him out. I'll pick his head up here. Oh, I can't hardly do it. He's just a big deer. Just big. I'm gonna start working on him here and see what I can do with him and get some more pictures later. Uncle Cash will be out here directly to help me. Mike Coleman. That's a score. Been after this deer how many days?
It's the second time after that one.
Yeah.
You got the same one?
If the sunlight was hitting that, it probably is. He looked yellow when I seen him, but I said I could see no more than 4. He's better than you thought he was, ain't he?
That's the kind we want to shoot down here, ain't it, Danny? That one's legal on a drive. They don't shoot little bucks down here, guys. They, all the
Well, we knew he
all the experts have gave us a thumbs up, and they said this is a good shoot. They accept that. Seriously, all joking aside,
Right.
you did have some bad luck this year.
I had some
with
real
the
bad
bow
luck.
hunting.
You know, I was out at a Bass Pro Shop store trying to shoot some new releases. Come to full draw on one of my bows, and it snapped at full draw. It was a bad mishap.
And the bad part about that, it was like the day before season.
It was 2 days before season, actually, and I had nothing. You know, I was all psyched about going out opening day, and I had no bow.
Nothing.
Nothing.
2 days before bow season.
Nothing.
And we had to reach in the bag, we had to come out with a trick.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I knew to do was send you to my go-to guy,
Yep.
Ray Burns,
Mhm. Yep.
out of Smoking Arrow,
He does an excellent job.
Outfitters, and you go in there, what, the day before
Day
season?
before season, you know, I
And did he
was
hook you
impressed. Oh, he set me up with a real nice bow. He's got quite a few different lines of bows in there. He let me shoot whatever I wanted to shoot. And he hooked me up with an APA, excellent bow. I loved it. You know, I liked the bow I had before a lot, but this bow is just a whole new category. Shot excellent, very forgiving, and he did all this the day before the season.
You don't find too many bow shops
No.
that'll do that.
No,
That's the thing I like about Ray Burns out there. Once you start buying from Ray,
yeah.
you know, you get kind of like in a family,
Yep.
a cult there, you know, and you can go to him and he guarantees his product, he
Oh,
backs
yeah.
it up, and I haven't found anybody more knowledgeable about a bow.
Oh, definitely
I haven't seen
not.
anything he couldn't fix yet.
No, I mean, there's been times where I went in there, you know, thinking that there might be something tweaked on my bow, and, you know, I'll go in there and he'll watch me shoot, and, you know, it's not the bow, it's me.
Shooter error.
Yeah.
I hate to go in there and tell him there's anything wrong with my bow. I always ask him if he'll just check it.
Right, yeah.
Because you're going to get shooter error
Oh,
a lot there.
definitely.
It's bad when he starts stovepiping them arrows on you back here.
He will do it too.
Yeah,
He'll do it.
he'll Robin Hood
Yeah.
one on you if you don't want it.
So, but he does an excellent job, definitely got me set up, you know, and I was sighted in that night, and I still got to hunt the next morning, you know.
Well, you just stay at it. I know you've killed deer before. I know you're going to kill deer this year. And in 2012, when we do a video, I want to see a big one hanging here on the wall with your name
I
on
hope
it.
so. I hope so.
One of us will probably come up dry,
Yeah.
And then, you know, she'll be on the other foot, and you can ride as hard, but it's away with.
Right,
All
right.
right.
It happens.
All right, well, thanks for coming out,
No problem.
watching everything they helped us make these videos.
No problem.
And, you know, I don't know what kind of guy you want working on your bows, fellas. I prefer a guy that I know will fix it, stand behind his product. So go on out there and see Ray Burns at Smoking Arrow Outfitters and get to know him a little bit. You know, get in the family. He'll fix you right up. We'll catch you later. Remember to check your arrow, see if you got blood on it, because we'll be coming back at you. I dropped my mask. Sean brought it back to me. He sprayed deer estrus in my face mask. All I'm smelling's deer pee. I've got to get even now. All right, you know, you may find this hard to believe, because I found it hard to believe myself. It was unbelievable the way it happened.
Right.
But there was one evening there where this buck walked underneath my stand.
Yeah.
And I leapt out upon this buck's back. I was going to try to kill it. No, really, seriously.
Really?
And it broke off. And so he ran off and left me with this in my hand.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's real special to me every time I look at this. I think about that.
And I killed a 220-inch deer this year. I just couldn't find it.
There's no need to lie. I
Oh,
mean, there's no need to tell a big lie.
oh, I wouldn't lie to you about that.
No, I wouldn't lie to you either. Shoot the deer.
Got both of us in there.
Yep, you got 3 of them.
Thank you.
You gotta hold it out farther, Walt, make it look bigger.
Big as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
Man.
So you're good much bigger than that, buddy.
All right, here's a good comparison. This is Seth Wood's first buck kill of his life, and it's a nice 12. If that was my first deer, I'd be tickled to death. I'd probably do the man dance with somebody.
Oh, yeah.
Next to Walter Mitchell's monster, 205 monster, you can see it'll still almost fit inside that rack. That's a big deer.
Thank you.
But that's a big deer too. The problem you're gonna have is you gotta up that ante every year, you know. You gotta kill a bear one next year. You're kind of limiting yourself.
I'll tell you what, one thing about Seth is he's very similar to Tyler as far as getting out in the rain and the elements and really putting his time in hunting deer. I think as far as that prison property that we hunt on, you know, nobody hit it harder than Seth Woods did. And I mean, you know, that deer speaks for his time out there.
I was sitting up there thinking all the stuff that's went wrong today. I either needed a beer or a deer, and I'll be honest with you, I ain't much of a drinker. During a moment of premature ejaculation, he's killed a damn tree. Now,
The Grim Reaper does to the tree.
that's right, and that tree is not feeling any pain right now. There you go.
ED.
You've had your moment. You've had your moments. You've had your moments. Let's go find this son of a gun.